Yes, Mother.
Did you have a nice time, dear?
Yes, very nice, thanks.
Well, you don't look like a girl who's had a wonderful evening.
Do you remember that you said I might have such strong feelings for a boy that it might be hard for me to decide what to do?
Yes, I remember. Why?
Something like that happened tonight with Bobby. I like him an awful lot, and we had such a fun night. But tonight, things between us got stronger and stronger. On my way home, we stopped and parked, and things seemed to happen until we nearly... It was so close. Suddenly, I realized what we were about to do. I told Bobby to take me home. I guess he felt ashamed too. Said he was sorry, that it was his fault.
Do you think it was his fault?
Oh, Mother, I don't know what to think. I'm so mixed up.
Perhaps I can understand something of what you feel. First, it all seems quite a lot. He likes you, and you like him, and everything seems all fun and affectionate. Then all at once, you can find yourself in a situation where your physical urges fight against your reason.
Billy, Bob, and Bobby did not feel like walking home after a long day at school. Mr. Wilson saw that they needed a ride home. After having a friendly conversation, Billy Bob decided the stranger was not so bad. The next day, Mr. Wilson saw that Billy Bob and Bobby needed a ride again and decided to take them out to eat. This time, Bobby noticed Mr. Wilson showing a bit of physical affection towards Billy Bob, and again with Bobby in the car.
Hi, my name is Samantha Jefferson.
I'm Nicola Preciado.
I'm Elena Nguyen.
And today's segment is on social views on sexuality. Welcome back to Channel 16, JD News.
This Justin, remember to keep an eye out for strange men. Lately there have been occurrences where men have intended to force themselves on teenage boys.
Therefore, the media is spreading awareness to adolescents to refrain from talking to suspicious adults and to go home as soon as possible. There has been a newfound pandemic of homosexuality, so don't separate your group or go off alone with an adult unless you have permission from teacher or parent.
It may save your life. The decision is always yours. Your whole life depends on making the right one. So no matter where you meet a stranger, be careful if they're too friendly, if they try to win your confidence too quickly, and if they become overly personal.
One never knows where the homosexual is about. He may appear normal, and it may be too late when you find out he is mentally ill.
Teenagers and adults that question their sexuality try to make up for their sexual preferences by putting up a facade and accompanying themselves with women. Men together are not seen as a typical couple, whereas men and women are the idealistic pair. Fear of the so-called mentally ill, homosexuals made authoritative figures consider the rise of the lavender scare. Sexual identity presented in societies was managed through executive orders, in which President Truman ordered that officials should hold interviews to ensure no one, especially in the government, had homosexual thoughts or actions. Truman declared that one's sexual preference determined whether or not they have the right to hold a job. Employers not only checked whether an employee had a sexual preference outside society norms, but also checked whether their roommates, friends, or families did as well, to determine their job position.
Sexuality during this time, unlike homosexuality, was widely propagated through the media, such as magazines and newspapers. One well-known example is Playboy, in which women were sexualized and embodied the typical feminist perception from a man's point of view. It was not uncommon for couples to interact affectionately in sexual activities. However, in Chapter 7, Holden says, "The thing is, you didn't know Stradlater. I knew him. Most guys at Pensy just talk about having sexual intercourse with girls all the time, like Ackley, for instance, but old Stradlater really did it." Holden expresses concerns towards Jane's association with Stradlater, and he wants to protect her innocence. He becomes despondent at the thought of Stradlater being a quote-unquote sexy bastard to Jane and tainting her with his sexual behavior. In a like manner, Holden also tries to salvage his own innocence by empathizing with girls that have associated themselves sexually with Stradlater.
Thanks, Leno.
Okay.
Ready?
1, 2, 3.
And we're back with Channel 16, JD News.
While homosexuality has become more known throughout the world, it was still socially frowned upon until recent LGBT movements paved the way for further equal rights.
Acceptance of LGBT communities with the When We Rise movement was one of the final legs of civil rights advocacy for same-sex marriage legalization. On the other hand, homosexuals were categorized as deviant until 1974 when the American Psychiatric Association removed homosexuality from its list of mental disorders, perhaps as a delayed result of ideas brought to light in Kinsey's study.
In the modern day, discrimination is hardly existent or to the extent where homosexuals are considered mentally ill and in which these individuals are taken to mental institutions and treated with aversion therapy, which is therapy administered through electric stimulus to gradually eliminate patients from pursuing undesirable passions and habits.
Similarly, at the end of the novel, Holden reflects his experiences at a mental hospital, which brings up the conspiracy theory that Holden was sexually harassed when he was a child and was considered mentally ill because of his belief in homosexuality. This is demonstrated in Chapter 21, where Holden takes note of the fact that Mr. and Mrs. Antolini are never in the same room together.
Mr. Antolini's lack of interest towards his wife and his touch enacted on Holden, which Holden overreacts to, suggests that Mr. Antolini might be gay.
With the sweeping diversity of sexual preference in America due to marches that advocate for LGBT rights, there is a sense of leniency to individuals being confident in their sexuality. Of course, this does not include all countries, but in America, modern-day TV shows and movies perpetuate this growing approval. Some examples include the show The Fosters, in which the characters Cole and Aaron are transgender. Disney's Star vs. the Force of Evil includes a same-sex kissing scene, and Disney's Beauty and the Beast movie includes the character LeFou having an interest in Belle's suitor Gaston. However, with the increase in satisfying civil rights of LGBT people, this also inadvertently reciprocates to the dramatic rise in state efforts to limit LGBT rights. With more restrictions and social dissent, individuals face pressure to conform to societal views and are mentally conflicted whether their feelings are out of necessity to preserving their image or genuine. Similarly, in Chapter 11, Holden's acknowledgement of getting to know Jane intimately, but not physically, demonstrates Holden's platonic relationship with Jane. Holden's sexual identity is affected in this scene in that it reiterates his past experiences with girls he could have possibly had sexual intercourse with, but at the last minute came up with an excuse not to do it. Holden states that you don't always have to get too sexy to get to know a girl, suggesting that he is completely fine with being in a friendship with girls.
Just your part.
Hope you enjoyed!
For more information, reference these sources.
Have a nice day, Bulldogs!
That was perfect.